Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to tell you one of the most emotional and powerful true survival stories, the story of Tammy and Richard. Two lovers whose beautiful journey turned into a nightmare in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So sit tight, like and subscribe if you enjoy movie stories that touch your heart. And let's begin. The story begins with a shocking scene. A young woman floating inside a yacht half filled with water. She's unconscious. Moments later, she slowly wakes up, dazed and injured. Her name is Tammy. Panicking, she quickly climbs out of the flooded cabin, gasping for air. The yacht around her is completely destroyed, pieces of wood and ropes everywhere. She starts screaming, "Richard, Richard!" But no one replies. The vast ocean surrounds her, endless blue water, no land in sight. And as the camera zooms out, we realize she's completely alone. The story now shifts back in time, 5 months earlier. We see Tammy on a beautiful tropical island, Tahiti. Someone asks her, "What do you do for a living?" She smiles and replies, "I do whatever gets me enough money to go to the next place." Tammy is a wanderer, originally from California, but now she just wants to see the world. That's when she meets Richard, a charming British sailor who travels the world on his boat. Richard invites her to dinner one night. When Tammy sees his photos, the places he's been, the adventures he's had, she's amazed. She asks him, "Don't you feel lonely sailing alone for so long?" Richard laughs softly. "Not at all," he says. "But after a few days you start to go dark. You stay wet, hungry, and sleepless, and after a while, you start hallucinating. The ocean plays tricks on your mind." Tammy asks curiously, "Then why do you do it?" Richard smiles. "Because it's an experience words can't describe. When you're out there in the middle of nowhere and you see the horizon, it feels like you're reborn. Just you, the wind, and the sea." Tammy's eyes light up. "I want to feel that too," she says. And soon Richard takes her on one of his journeys. They sail together, laugh together, and slowly fall in love. One day, they meet an older couple who know Richard from before. They ask him to deliver their yacht from Tahiti to California. In return, they'll give him $10,000 in first-class plane tickets back. Richard agrees, but asks for 2 tickets so Tammy can come with him. The couple agrees, but Tammy isn't happy. She doesn't want to go back home yet. "I don't want to sail toward my past," she says softly. Richard tells her, "Then I'll cancel the deal." But Tammy shakes her head. "No, you should go. You've earned it." Richard looks at her and says, "I've traveled half the world before meeting you, Tammy, and now that I've found you, I don't want to lose you." Touched by his words, Tammy agrees to go with him. They set sail toward California, together. Days later, in the calm ocean breeze, Richard proposes to Tammy. He gives her a small ring, one he made himself. Tammy's eyes fill with tears as she says yes. They hug under the open sky, surrounded by nothing but waves. But the next morning, things change. A small bird lands on their boat. Richard and Tammy are surprised. They are too far from land for any bird to fly this far. Tammy asks, "How did it get here?" Richard replies, "Maybe strong winds carried it." Moments later, he goes below deck to check the radio, and his face turns pale. A massive hurricane is heading directly toward their path. Richard and Tammy try to change their course, hoping to avoid the storm. But by nightfall, it's too late. Huge waves rise around them like moving mountains. The sound of roaring wind fills the air. Richard shouts, "Get inside the cabin!" Tammy refuses, but he forces her below deck. A giant wave crashes into their yacht, smashing everything apart. Tammy hits her head and falls unconscious. When Tammy wakes up, the yacht is half underwater. Richard is gone. This is where the story had begun. She calls out again and again, but there's no response. She grabs the binoculars. No land, no ships. The radio doesn't work. Her hope starts fading. Wounded and weak, she lies down, her body trembling. When she opens her eyes later, she sees the small safety boat missing. Through the binoculars, she spots it far away, and Richard is on it. Her heart fills with determination. She tries to start the yacht's engine, but it's dead. So she dives into the ocean, trying to swim toward Richard, but the waves push her back. She can't risk losing the yacht too, so she returns. The sail is broken, the hull is cracked. Tammy patches the holes with tape and pumps out the seawater. She struggles for hours, but finally fixes the sail and pole. Slowly the yacht begins to move again. At last she reaches the small overturned boat where Richard is trapped. He's badly injured, can't swim or move. Tammy ties him with a rope and pulls him aboard with all her strength. His leg is broken, ribs crushed. She bandages his wounds and stays by his side. Days turn into weeks. The small sail can't move the yacht fast enough. They're completely off course, far from any shipping route. Tammy starts to lose hope. "We're going to die here," she cries. Richard holds her hand weakly and says, "Don't give up no matter what happens." But they're running out of food and water. Tammy suggests heading toward Hawaii, where the wind is stronger. Richard warns, "It'll add 500 more miles. It's risky." But Tammy insists, and it's their only chance. They turn the yacht toward Hawaii. Rain finally comes after 18 long days, giving them fresh water to drink. But food is running out fast. Richard asks her to catch fish, but Tammy refuses. She's vegetarian. Still, she knows they won't survive otherwise. She dives into the ocean, but fails to catch any. 29 days pass. They're starving, exhausted, and weak. Then one morning, Tammy spots a massive cargo ship. She fires a flare gun. Red smoke rises into the air, but the ship doesn't see them. It passes by and disappears. Tammy collapses in tears, completely heartbroken. Days later, Richard's wound gets worse. It's infected, and he's burning with fever. Another storm approaches, but thankfully it passes with only strong winds. That night, Tammy sits beside Richard, talking to him about her childhood, how her father would disappear for days, and how her grandparents never let her see him again. The next morning, she wakes up and calls for Richard, but he's gone. Then she realizes the heartbreaking truth. Richard had died in the hurricane long ago. All this time, he wasn't really there. He was just a vision, a part of her mind helping her survive. Tammy breaks down, but she knows she has to keep going. 41 days have passed. She's weak, starving, and sunburned. But then, a bird lands on her yacht. Tammy looks around. If there's a bird, there must be land nearby. Through the binoculars, she spots a ship, a Japanese vessel. She fires her flare gun one last time. This time they see her. The rescuers send food and water down and tow her yacht to safety. Tammy finally survives. Weeks later, after recovering, she returns to Tahiti, the place where she first met Richard. She walks to his old boat and looks at their photos together. Tears roll down her face as she remembers him. Standing by the ocean, she takes off the ring Richard gave her and throws it into the sea. Her final goodbye. As the screen fades to black, we see real photos of Tammy, Oldham, Ashcraft, and Richard Sharp, the true heroes behind this incredible story. And that's how this unbelievable true story ends. A story of love, loss, and survival against the greatest force of nature. If you felt emotional watching this, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more true stories, and comment below which movie story I should explain next. Thank you for watching, and remember, no matter how rough the storm gets, never give up.